Fine. So the session will be like I'll be explaining the concept first, and then okay. So this is brought to you by EduAm. Okay, and fine. So the format will be I'll be first explaining the concept, and then we'll be doing JEE mains question. Okay, 2019 paper we'll be doing. Fine. So that we can access. See, JEE mains and NEET. So okay, we'll be doing. Okay, so there are students here for NEET and JEE mains both, right? Okay, so we'll be doing one question of JEE mains and some questions of NEET also, right? So because the level, the things that we'll be seeing today, they are equally important for NEET as well as JEE. So someone is preparing for NEET should not think that the things that we do now, it is equally important. Okay, so it's the same. So don't worry, and the questions that we'll see, they are of the same level. JEE mains. So please pay attention. Okay, don't worry about the question. Please follow. Okay. Electric field. So this is electric field is denoted by this is a vector quantity. So E vector like this. Okay. And this is what? Suppose there is a charge Q placed here. Okay. Suppose it is fixed with something. It is not moving. This charge value is Q. Okay. So at a distance, let's say this is some point at a distance R from this charge. Okay. So the electric field is what? You put unit positive charge. Okay. Unit positive charge here at the point where you wish to find the electric field. Okay. So plus 1 coulomb. Coulomb is the unit for charge. Okay. So 1 coulomb of charge will put there and try to find out what is the force on that 1 coulomb charge due to this Q charge. Okay. Obviously that force will be having a direction. Okay. So before that, let's discuss what is Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. I hope you all know, but still, let's discuss. So Coulomb's law. There is this law of Coulomb that says that there are two charges. Okay, this Q1 and the other one is Q2. Okay. Obviously, if they are both positive, they will repel each other, right? And if they are both negative, so same like charges repel and different charges, unlike charges, they attract each other. Fine. So with what force will they repel or attract? Okay. Let's say this can be a scenario of repulsion, and the case also may be like this is Q1 plus Q1. Let's say this is plus charge. This is plus also. Okay. It may happen that the other charge is negative. Okay. Q2. Let's say minus Q2, negative. Now in this case, they will attract each other, right? Because they are unlike charges. So what Coulomb's law says that how much force, with what force they will repel or attract each other. So that is given by, the force is given by K Q1 into Q2 upon R square, where R is the distance between the two charges. Okay. R is the distance between the two charges. So by this expression, we get the magnitude of the force. Okay. Obviously, this force will have a direction. Force is also a vector quantity. So it will have a direction as well. And what will be the direction? If it is repulsion, if it is the first case, the force on this one will be like this. Along the line connecting the two charges, in this direction for this charge, and for this charge it will be in this direction along this line, along the line connecting the two. Similarly here also the force will be of attraction, but it will be along this line. Okay, this force vector. So direction of the force will be, they will attracting each other along the line connecting them. Okay, and the magnitude of the force is given by this. Okay, now what is K? K is 1 upon a constant, 1 upon epsilon naught. Okay, like this. The value of K is approximately 9 into 10 to the power 9, and E naught, epsilon naught is what? Permittivity of free space. Okay. Fine. So this is Coulomb's law. This we have done standard 10th also, but still for revision. The force, the magnitude of the force is given by K Q1 Q2 upon R square. The line of force is along the line connecting two charges. Okay. Epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space. The value of the constant, this constant K, this is the constant. The value is this much. Okay. I hope this is clear about the Coulomb's law. Now we can find out the magnitude of forces between two charges. Fine. So here coming back to the electric field, our objective is electric field is defined as at whatever place. Suppose this was the charge. Okay. Suppose you have to find the electric field at this point. Let's say the question is what is the electric field at this point? What we have to do, what we do simply put a unit positive charge, that is +1 coulomb at the point where you want to find the electric field, and then find the force on that 1 coulomb charge. That is the electric field. Okay. So I can say electric field is what? Force per unit charge. So F upon Q you can say. Okay. So whatever is the direction of the force, whatever is the direction of the force on that charge, the same is the direction of the electric field. Okay. Okay. So suppose I want to find the electric field at this point. Okay. What you do, you simply take a unit positive charge +1 charge I'll put at this point +1 coulomb. Okay. And then find the what is the force. Okay. So using Coulomb's law says that force is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. Let's say the distance is given. Let's say this is R2. The distance is R2. Let's say this is R1. Okay. So obviously, suppose this is a positive charge, and you have to put positive charge. Keep in mind, at the point where you want to find the electric field, you have to put unit positive charge. Okay. Obviously, if this charge is positive, it will be repelling this charge. Okay. So it will repel. So the direction of the electric field is what? This black arrow that I have drawn along the line connecting the two charges and repelling it in that direction. Fine. That is the direction. What is the magnitude? Magnitude is given by the force on this 1 coulomb charge is the electric field simply. So K Q1. Q1 is what? Q here. The other one is 1 coulomb. So simply I'll write 1 divided by the distance square. Let's say R2 square. So this is the magnitude of the electric field. Okay. This is the magnitude of the electric field for this. So this is how we find the electric field. Okay. Now, suppose this is a charge. Okay. Suppose this is a charge plus Q. Anywhere you will put a charge, obviously it will, let's say +1 charge you put here, it will repel it. If you put the charge here, +1 coulomb, it will again repel it. So all along, theoretically, everywhere around itself, around that charge, you put another +1 charge, it will feel some force due to this +Q charge, right? So there is a kind of field around that charge. Okay. That field is called the electric field. Okay. So that is, so technically, theoretically, it is unto infinity because, okay, so all around this charge, there is electric field. If I try to draw the lines, it will be like this. Okay. All around it radially away from the charge. Okay. Like this. How am I getting these lines? Because obviously you put anywhere +1 coulomb charge. If you put anywhere, suppose I put it here +1 coulomb charge. Obviously it will what? Repel it in this direction. Okay. So electric field lines. So these are called electric field lines. Okay. If you put a positive charge along the lines, it will feel the force in the direction of that electric field. Okay. So if this is the direction of the electric field, if you put any positive charge here, it will feel a force equal to E into Q, right? Because electric field is defined as what? Force per unit charge. Okay, so force per unit charge is the electric field. Fine. Direction of the electric field is the same as the direction of the force. Fine. Okay. Now there can be more number of, let's say there are two charges. There is charge number one Q1. There is another charge Q2. Okay. Suppose suppose you are asked that, okay, let's say there is a point in between the two charges. Let's say both are positive charges. Let's say this distance is R1 and this is R2. Okay. Now the question is, what is the electric field at this point? Simply what we'll do, we put plus one charge there because we want to find the electric field at this point. Okay. So at this point, I put plus 1 coulomb charge and then try to find out the forces on the charge, total net force. Okay. So there are two charges in this case. So due to this Q1, it will feel a force in this direction due to Q1, and due to Q2, it will feel a force in this direction. Okay. This force will be what? Force in this direction will be what? K Q2 upon R2 square, right? And this force in this direction will be what? K Q1 by R1 square, right? So what is the net force at that point on that 1 coulomb charge? Some force is in this direction, some force. So what is the net force? Net force I can say is K Q2 by R2 square minus K Q1 by R1 square. Okay. So it will be positive, negative depending on which one is more. Okay. And the direction is along the line. It can be in this direction, can be in this direction, depending upon which one of the two is greater. Fine. I hope it is clear. Okay. So this is how we find. So I can say this much is the electric field due to these two charges at that given point. You can find the electric field at any point. Let's say this point. This point also, you can find the electric field due to this one. It will be in this direction. And due to this force, the force on this plus 1 coulomb charge. So then you have to find the resultant of these two forces, okay, on that 1 coulomb charge. That will give you the electric field at this point. It will be somewhere in between, right? Fine. So based on this, I am uploading a question of JEE Mains 2019. Okay. Yes. I hope the question is visible to all. This is yes, JEE Mains 2019 paper question. Okay. Now, if someone like Anish is appearing for NEET, okay, so you should not think that this is not important. This is equally important for you. The same question can come in NEET also. Okay. Based on what we saw now, we just have to find then solve this question. Whoever gets the answer, please message me. Which option do you think is correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Whoever gets the answer, please message me the answer. Okay. Okay, fine. So, okay, on issue. Very good. There are three charges. Okay. One is plus capital Q, another is plus capital Q, and the third one is small q. Okay. 1 plus q is kept at the origin, x is equal to 0. Okay. And the other two are kept at a distance d by 2 and d as given in the question. So the net force by q that is on the origin is 0. So find the value of K. Simple Coulomb's law application. Okay, I'll make the diagram for you. Okay, so that it is one direction only. This is, let's say, the x-axis. Okay, and let's say this is the origin. X is equal to 0. Okay, so one charge is kept at the origin. That is, this charge plus q is kept at the origin. Okay. This small q is kept at a distance d by 2. Okay, so this is small q and the distance from this one is d by 2. Okay, and there is one more charge That is, the magnitude of this one is plus q only, and it is at a distance of d from the origin. Okay. The force on the charge at the origin, that is the black one, is 0. It is said in the question. So you have to find the magnitude of the small q charge, the red charge. Okay. What is q? That is what you have to find. That will come in terms of capital Q. Yes, Abhiram, Onisha, Devansh. Okay, so Devansh is saying A. Onisha is saying A. KP A. Fine. Okay, everyone is saying A. Okay, any other answer other than A? Okay, let's see. This is an easy question, so let's not waste much time on this. So the force on this is 0. So obviously the black one will be okay. So the force due to the black one. So the net force on this I find K Q Q by D by 2 square plus the force due to the this green one. So obviously this green charge must be repelling this black one in this direction, right? So obviously this has to be negative, right? So that it can pull it in this direction. Okay. So I can say K Q into Q by D square must be equal to K Q Q by D by 2 square. Simple. So just cancel out K, cancel out Q, and then it will become Q by D square is equal to 4Q by D square. Okay. So Q becomes, in magnitude it is Q by 4, but obviously it has to be negative. Okay. So the answer will be first one. Correct. Okay. The next question. No one is having doubt. Simple Coulomb's law, right? Okay. Next question. Okay. No, let's do it afterwards. Yes, this one. This is now two-dimensional. Okay. You have to involve, so use vectors a little bit. You have to. You have to use vectors in this one. Okay. But again, the formula and all the things will be the same. Whoever gets the answer, tell me. Be careful about the calculation, because calculations are also part of the question. Okay. You have to get the correct answer. Okay. Don't make mistake of plus and minus. Yes, Anisha, what is your doubt? Tell me. You can write me. Repeat this question theory, please. Okay. See, I'll explain this question. Okay. Until now, whatever we have done, I hope that you must have got. We have done simply, we have applied Coulomb's law, right? Now, the same thing can happen in two dimensions, like this question. Okay. I'm explaining this question, and then you have to do the calculations. That's it. Okay. So here, there are two charges, Q1, whose magnitude is square root 10 microcoulomb. Okay. This mu is micro. And the other charge is negative 25 microcoulomb. Okay. So they are placed on the x-axis at x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 4. Okay. So always, okay, I have an answer from Devansh. Okay. Devansh is saying C. Let's see. Okay. Devansh said C. We'll see the answer. But keep trying. It may be correct, it may be incorrect also. Okay. I'll explain the question once. Okay, Anisha is saying D. Let's see. So this is x is equal to 0. Okay. So I am making the coordinate axis. This is origin 0, 0. Okay. So one charge is kept here at x is equal to 1. That is, okay. So here the charge Q1 is placed and x is equal to 4. That is around here. Q2 is placed. The charge kept here is square root 10 microcoulombs. This is positive charge, okay? And this one is negative 25 microcoulomb. This is negative, okay? This is what? This is 1. This is 1. And this length is what? This x is equal to 4. So this is 4, okay? Fine. Now you have to find the electric field at what point? At the point y is equal to 3 on the y-axis. That is this point, okay? This is y is equal to 3. So you have to find the electric field at this point, okay? Magnitude and the direction. So what you have to do, simply you put plus 1 coulomb there, okay? You put plus 1 coulomb charge at this point. Plus 1 coulomb I kept, okay? Now this q1 is positive, so obviously it will be repelling it in this direction, right? It will be repelling it in this direction, like this, okay? This is the direction in which the charge q1 will repel that plus 1 charge at your, so that plus 1 charge is called test charge, okay? The name given to that is test charge, okay? And this q2 is negative, so obviously it will be not repelling but attracting this plus 1 charge, that test charge that you have, okay? So this will be attracting in this direction. So the force will be in this direction due to q2 and in this direction due to q1. You just have to find these magnitudes of these two forces. So basically you have to find the resultant of these two forces, okay? The red one and the green one, okay? In the component form. Okay, Devansh is okay. Option A is also. So some students are saying A, some saying C, some saying D also. Okay, B is remaining. Someone is having B also. So I hope the question is clear. Now try. You just have to find the resultant, and to find the resultant, what to do? Find the magnitude of this force and then component. Take the component. Let's say for the green one. For the green one, it is in this direction, right? It is in this direction. So you break it into components in x direction and y direction. So you break it into this and in this direction, okay? Y and x components you can write in I and J form, okay? So, okay, and this one, the other one also, you have to split into components like this. For this one, the x component will be in this direction and the y component will be in this direction. So break both the forces into components in x and y direction, that is in I and J form, and then add them like we add vectors. If someone is having problem with doing components or how we add vectors, please tell me. I'll explain a little bit about that also. If someone is having difficulty understanding the components and how to find the resultant, because this is standard 11 thing, right? So we can't discuss here, but still I can, briefly explain it if someone is having problem. So I am telling that the answer will be the first one, 1. Okay. So the students who have not got 1 as the answer, please try once again. Okay. This 1 is the correct answer. We'll see how, but try a little bit more. Okay. The first one is the correct answer. So Devansh, I think, gave the right answer. Yes. Yes, Devansh. Correct. Your option is correct. Option number A is the right answer. Other students, please correct your mistake. Fine. So see, if I put a +1 charge here, +1 coulomb charge you put here, right? So now this Q1 is repelling it in this direction. With what force? So this force here, let's say F1 force. Okay, this is, let's say, F1 force. So the magnitude of F1 is what? K. K is what? 9 into 10 to the power 9. K. Q1. Q1 is what? √2 microcoulomb. That is this. K Q1. Q2 is 1, right? K Q1 Q2 divided by the distance square. Distance square is what? This is 3, this is 1. So this is hypotenuse. Okay, so that is 3 square 9 plus 1. So that is 10, right? So this is the magnitude of that force F1, right? Similarly, I'll try to, let's say this force is F2. The magnitude of the force F2 is what? F2 magnitude is again K is what? It is constant into Q1 is what? This is negative. It is attracting. The magnitude is 25 into 10 to the power minus 6. 25 microcoulomb. Q2 is 1 divided by the distance between the two is what? This is again hypotenuse of 3, 4. So that is 5 square, 25, right? Okay. So this will cancel out. So it becomes 9,000 Newton. Okay. F2 magnitude is 9,000. F1 is what? Let's cancel this out also. So this will be 10, will become 8. So 900 root 10. This much Newton is the magnitude of F1. Fine. Now we cannot add because the two forces are in different directions. So let's write the components here. This component of F2 is what? Let's say this angle is theta, and let's say this angle is phi. So this angle is also phi. Okay, and this angle will be theta. Okay, simple geometry, alternate angle. So this is what? F2 cos phi, and this component, this one will be F2 sin phi. Okay, so I'm writing F2 as vector. F2 vector I write is what? F2 cos phi I cap, and it is the y component is below towards the negative y direction. Okay, so I will write negative F2 sin phi j cap. Okay, because the direction is minus j direction. Minus j direction, that means towards the negative y axis, right? Fine. So this is the force vector F2. Okay, I write it in the directions component. The components are written in each direction. Okay. Now cos phi I can easily write, right? Cos phi is what? Cos phi, the triangle 3, 4, 5. So this is simply 4 by 5, right? Sin phi is what? From the triangle it is 3 by 5. F2, the magnitude of F2 I know, that is 9,000 Newton. So simply I can say F2 cos phi is what? Okay, so let's write the value here. Cos phi is 4 by 5 P cap minus F2 is what? Okay, 9,000 3 by 5 J cap. Okay, so now you can cancel it. So this becomes 7200 I cap minus 5400 J cap. So this is the force vector F2. Fine. Similarly, I'll do the components of the force vector F1. Okay. So F1 vector, if I try to write, F1 vector is what? F1 vector has this component as what? This one will be, I hope it is visible, F1 sin theta. And this component is what? F1 cos theta, but it is in the negative x direction, this direction. Okay. So F1 I can write negative F1 cos theta I cap. Okay. Why negative? Because in the negative x direction it is. Okay. Plus F1 sin theta j cap plus, because it is pointing towards the positive y direction upwards. Okay. I know the value of theta. For this triangle now, this theta I can say cos theta is what? Cos theta is equal to, okay, this is 1 upon the this hypotenuse length will be square root 10, 3 square plus 1. Okay, so this is 1 upon root 10. Sin theta will be what? 3 upon root 10. Fine. So, and F1 I have already 900 root 10. So, negative 900 root 10. The value of cos theta is 1 upon root 10 I cap. Okay. Plus 900 root 10. The value of sin theta is what? 3 by root 10. 3 by root 10 j cap. Okay. So this is the beauty that they give data so that it cancels. So F1 vector is what? It is negative 900 I cap plus 2700 j cap. Right? Now you have to simply add the two forces F1 plus F2. F1, I hope it is visible, right? So this will become 6300 I cap plus 27, okay, minus 2700 J cap. Okay, so that is the first option. I hope no one is having any doubt. Everyone understood. If someone is facing a problem, please let me know. I'll repeat. I'll try to explain. I hope it is clear. Okay, let's do one more question. Okay, so now this was, so see, the questions are easy. Maybe it had some calculation, but it can be done in a very small span of time because the figures are such that they cancel out. Okay, fine. Let's look at the other question. Okay, so now until now we have seen that the electric field due to a point charge, but it may not be the case every time. Maybe there is a ring like this. Maybe there is a ring like this, and this whole ring is charged. Okay, charged with some charge per unit length. Okay, so this is uniformly charged ring. So due to this charged ring also there will be an electric field. Okay, so let's try to find out that. Okay, so we'll see it, how to find the, okay, suppose this is the ring and this is the center of the ring, and this is the axis. This is the axis of the ring. Okay, the ring is uniformly charged with charge per unit length, charge per unit length equal to lambda, let's say. Okay, that means unit charge, unit length of that ring has lambda charge. Okay, so the total ring will have 2 pi r into lambda charge, right? The radius of the ring is, let's say, capital R. Okay, the radius of the ring is capital R, let's say. Now let's find out the electric field at this point at a distance x from the center of the ring. At a distance x from the center of the ring, what is the electric field? So again, the theory, what we do to find the electric field, we put +1 charge at the point where we wish to find the electric field, right? So here also what we do, you put +1 charge, +1 coulomb charge you put here, and try to find out the force on this charge, that is the electric field. Okay, so but now this is not a single charge. The charge is distributed over this ring in this case. Okay, it is distributed over this ring. Okay, so what we do, but this ring, that means, is made of small fragments. So let's take a small element here. Okay, small element of the ring. Okay, let's say the length of that element is, let's say, dl. Okay, we are not going to integrate or anything. Okay, but let's say the length of that small length, the red part, is dl. So what is the charge? Lambda into dl, right? This is the small charge and on that small arc of that ring that I have selected. Fine. Now this much charge, this has charge dq. The dq charge is there on that red part because lambda is the charge per unit length. So for dl length, the charge is lambda into dl. Fine. Okay, this is plus charge ring. The charge on the ring is plus. Okay, and here also +1. So obviously it will be repelling like this. Okay, so I can say in this direction the force will be, right? The force on this +1 coulomb charge will be in this direction. Okay, similarly, diametrically opposite to this, there will be another same arc of charge like this. Let's say here again, if the length is dl, the dq is what? Again same, lambda dl. Now this will apply a force like this on that same charge like this, right? In this direction. So since it is diametrically opposite, it is symmetrical, right? It is symmetrical. This angle will be equal to this angle, right? So now for all the elements on the ring, a cone of force will be made like this, a cone. Okay, so this is a cone of force like this. For every element you select, there will be force, and then diametrically opposite that there is another same amount that will. So there is a cone of force like this that is made, right? A cone of force. Now we have to find the resultant of all these forces, this conical force like this. Okay, I hope you are getting. If someone is not getting it, please tell me, I'll explain once more. Okay, but I think this can be visualized easily. Okay, fine, let's not make it clumsy. Okay, so a cone of force will be made. Now the good thing about this situation is that now all the forces, suppose this force, suppose the blue one, if I take the component of that, okay, I am trying to take the component of the blue force in the x direction will be like this, okay, and the y direction will be this, okay. And for the red one, what will happen? The x direction component will be along this and the y direction will be this, okay. So all these components will cancel each other. For this force, the component will be, okay. So in the y direction, the forces will be cancelled. It is okay. So I hope you are getting right. These components will cancel on, and only these components of the forces we have to add. Okay. So the net electric field has to be in the x direction, of course. That is I cap direction. Okay. This much is clear, I guess, because the perpendicular components, they will cancel each other, the forces. So I'll be left with only the x component, this component, the horizontal component. Now, how to find that amount, the magnitude, coming to the magnitude, I hope this is clear. The vertical components, they will cancel each other, and only these components will be remaining. Fine. Let's try to find out. So what is the magnitude of this force? The magnitude of this force is what? This force, I can say again Coulomb's law. The radius is r, this is x. So this is what? Square root of r square plus x square. Pythagoras theorem, simple, right? So this force, this one force, if I write the force here will be what? K dq. Here the charge is 1 divided by the distance square, that is r square plus x square, right? So let me delete this. This is r square plus x square. Fine. So this, now this is the force, this force, okay, this is this force. You have to take only the x component, this component of this force. So let's say this angle is theta, you have to find f cos theta. The x direction component is given by f cos theta. F is what? This, the force due to this small arc on the ring, dq. So f cos theta is k dq by r square plus x square. And cos theta is what? This is a triangle. This is theta, this is theta. So what is cos for this? Cos is based upon the hypotenuse, simple. So this becomes what? Okay, so this is, let's say, small df. Due to that, only that arc df, the small force. There is no, it's not that only that arc is there. There are so many arcs like that. So I have to sum them all. Okay, so the x component, that means fx is this, x component of the force is this. So this becomes k dq by r square plus x square whole to the power 3 by 2. I hope. So just sum it all. Okay. So just see, x is not a variable here, r is not a variable here, k is not a variable. So simply it will become what? X is a fixed point. It is not changing. Okay. So we don't have to integrate anything. Everything will come outside the integral sign. Everything will come outside the integral sign because r, x, k, everything is constant here. So I am left with just integral of dq. That is sum of all the dq's. So what is the sum of all the dq's? What is the total charge? The total charge is given by whatever is the total charge that will be given in the question, right? Let's say capital Q is the total charge on the ring. So this becomes what? Okay, this x is also there, right? Yes. Okay, x is also there. So this becomes kx capital Q. This thing will become what? The integral of all such small dq's. That means the total charge on the ring. That is capital Q, let's say. It will be given in the question. So this. So this is the expression for the electric field due to a uniformly charged ring. This is what? A uniformly charged ring. Okay. So due to a uniformly charged ring at a distance x from the center on its axis, okay, at a distance x from the center of the ring on its axis, what is the electric field? This much, k xq divided by r square plus x square whole to the power 3 by 2. In which direction? If it is positive, in this case we took it positive, the direction is this way, away from the ring. Had it been negative, the direction will just reverse. If the ring is negative, the direction will be in this direction, towards the ring. Okay, obviously, if the ring is negatively charged, if you put a positive charge, for finding the electric field, we always put +1 charge, positive charge, okay? So obviously it will be attracting. So the direction of the electric field will be towards the ring if the ring is negatively charged. If the ring is positively charged, it will be repelling it in this direction along the axis, away from it. I hope it is clear. If someone is having any doubt, please tell me. Okay. So I hope there is no doubt. You have to remember the expression. We can't go deriving the formula in the examination. You have to keep in mind, remember the standard result. Okay. There is no other option than that. You have to remember the formula. Okay. That what is the distance at a distance x from the ring, from the center of the ring, what is the electric field? This much. You should know. Okay. This is how we get to the result, but you have to remember it. Okay, fine. Okay, yes, we are exceeding the time. Yeah, fine. So thank you, students. We'll end here. Okay.